What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 30 of Rip City Rundown. Today, we're not feeling too good as Blazer fans all around. A bad week overall. Road struggles are continuing. Players are cooling off, and some players just blatantly aren't performing. We're recording this right after the loss to the Jazz, where the Blazers just looked downright atrocious, I would say. I'll send it over to you, West. I mean, is there anything to feel good about with the Blazers?
Coming off the Nuggets game, I was very excited. I believe that was our third or fourth win in a row. But what does a 500 team do when they win four in a row? They lose three in a row. And that's what the Blazers just did. All on the road, no victories. That's the story of the season, in my opinion, so far. It's just the lack of road wins. I really thought we could get at least one on the road, but we ended up going 1-3 this week. So kind of a disappointing spot right now. But, we go home tomorrow, so hopefully we can right the ship.
Yeah,
What about you, Katie?
for sure. Yeah, 1-3 since our last podcast. All road losses. I mean, to cut us some slack, Golden State Warriors, best team in the league. Utah Jazz, top 5, maybe team in the league. Sacramento, again, it's just we cannot get any road wins, even if they're trash teams. But Detroit tomorrow, hopefully we can go back to 500.
I gotta ask, in this game tonight, I just can't even think of I can't remember. Was there any trash player that went off?
No, well, the Jazz won't have trash players, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
I did see
I mean,
we gave up.
Clarkson was 6 for 10 from 3. So, but I don't know.
I saw an article that was published a couple days ago. It was titled "No Name Players That Keep Showing Up Against the Blazers."
Really?
And they did a top 10 list.
Was Kaminsky number one?
Yeah, Kaminsky was one. Yeah, like Bones Highland on there. Maybe some people have never heard of him. We got Luke Kennard, Kelly Oubre, TJ McConnell. And these are all people putting up 20, 25 against the Blazers.
Right.
Nicholas Batum, Dylan Windler, George Niang, Jeff Green, and Marvin Bagley. So I just had to ask that real quick. The good news is, we'll just get a little good news here. We are going back home, and we've got 3 very winnable games coming up. Obviously, probably as you're watching this tonight, we have the Pistons at home.
Oh my gosh.
Which should be a dub. I mean, honestly, any team we play at home at this point should be a dub because it's the only place we can win. But then we've got Spurs at home and Celtics at home. So
and Clippers at home, 4 games.
Clippers at home, and then we're back on the road against guess who again? The Warriors.
Golden State. Yeah,
but we've got 4 games that we should. Do I say we should win? I mean, at home we're a completely different team.
Winnable.
So I feel like I should say we should win, but the energy doesn't look good with the Blazers right now.
Yeah,
I will say no Norman Powell tonight. That's the knee injury. I'm not going to say his 22 points, which we lost by, would make that up. But I will say I did not watch much of the game of this Jazz game. I will say whenever I did watch, it was the Jazz hitting a transition 3, and then I just would turn it off again. So I think transition defense is something that we are so bad at. We are really bad at it. Joe Ingles hit back-to-back transition 3s, and I just turned the game off because who wants to watch that?
True.
So
yeah,
but
do we want to go over all the stats for each game?
Yeah, go over the stats from this last game because I didn't really look at the box score yet at all.
All right, I watched pretty much the whole game except for the third quarter. Before I say the stats, I want to say that we held the Jazz to 21 points at the end of the first quarter, and I was like, all right, promising defense. Then they go on to score 32, then 41, then 35 in the fourth for a total of 130 points. So obviously just atrocious defense. Dame, 4 for 12, 1 for 4. CJ, 7 for 17 for 19 points. But what annoys me about that is it seems like CJ is always taking more shots than Dame. I don't care how hard the shots are. I want Dame taking all the shots over CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Nurk, again, with a great game, 9 for 13, 24 points for Nurk, double-double, 10 boards. And then Anthony Simons, huge off the bench, 24 points, 10 for 15. Simons is on fire.
I think he's been the MVP of the season.
Yeah, for the Jazz, not much to say. Mitchell, 30. Gobert, 21, 9 for 11. This guy doesn't miss highest field goal percentage in the league. Ingles, 14. Clarkson, 22 off the bench, But other than that, pretty spread out for the Jazz. I mean, they don't have specifically like insane players. I mean, if you want to say Gobert, but
From what I hear from that, it just seems like the guys for us that you expect to play well, Dame and CJ, just aren't playing to their standards. Because if you get a game from Simons where he puts up 24 and Nurkic where he puts up 24, both shooting over 60, 70%, you should think to yourself that you have a pretty good chance at winning the game. But coupled with the terrible defense and then the terrible play by the guards, it's a recipe for disaster, no matter how good the rest of your team is playing.
Yeah. I'm kind of transitioning to the Warriors game here. We lost by 15 on the road. No shame in losing to Golden State at
for sure.
the Chase Center. But I think, it's just a little frustrating because we play so bad or we play so well, and then we just have a 7-minute just horrible stretch. Golden State stretches the lead, and then we just can't dig ourselves out of that hole. Like, the Warriors shot 54% from the field, 32% from three. That's not like out of this world numbers. But I mean, like, Andrew Wiggins, it's 10 for 16 from the field. Like, he's a good player, but like the 2-point defense was so bad. And obviously they have Steph Curry. So he's took 15 threes, only made 6.
Yeah. Not to get too in detailed with the stats, but again, Lillard, 15 shots, CJ, 17 shots. It always seems like, I don't know, I just want Lillard taking more of these shots even if he's not. I mean, because he was player of the week last week. So
yeah, Simons had a amazing stretch in that game.
And then Lillard, like 2 of his threes came at the very end when we already like lost. So Lillard basically didn't really score. So
yeah,
I gotta say, in that Warriors game, I was fairly pleased with how he played, other than a span of like that 2 minutes and a half where they went on like a 12-0 run. So that gave me total loss of confidence. And I have to remember that the Jazz are still a really good team. So losing to the Jazz on the road, again, it's not the end of the world. It's just we don't look like we even want to win. Not that we can win.
Yeah.
We don't even look like we want to win.
Yeah. It's weird because like the Blazers, there's no shame. I think I said this in another podcast. There's no shame in losing to Golden State on the road, to the Jazz on the road. But if you're going to lose those games, you can't be losing to the Cavs and you can't be losing to the Kings twice. Like, if you're going to not beat the good teams, then you got to beat the teams that you should beat. If you want to have a successful season, which would be a top 5 seed in my opinion.
And you got to have, a couple of those big games on the roads where you do beat a really good team on the road. Maybe that's 5 games a year, but we just can't get one.
I know. So what's our record on the road? 1 and forever.
I think 1-10.
Unbelievable.
God.
1-10 on the road, 9-1 at home. I wouldn't be surprised if we are the best home team. Yeah, there's only us and Golden State are the only 1-loss teams at home. So
let's go back to the Kings game now. So,
oh gosh,
refresh my memory because I kind of forgot.
Well, it was pretty even.
Dame had a ton of free throws in that game. I remember he put up a good
Dame had
number of points, but not
points.
Great shooting.
Yeah, 32 points, 3 for 12 from 3.
15 for 16 from the line.
Nurk had a crazy game.
Again, CJ, 13 points, 20 shots. Yep, again, 13 points,
horrible.
20 shots.
Yep. Okay.
And again, CJ, 3rd time shooting more than Dame. I don't get it. I really don't.
That game, I was watching it with you, Cole, actually, and I think you can recall me getting a little upset at CJ about he was shooting us out of the game.
Yeah.
CJ has a tendency to where when he's not playing well, he tries to shoot his way back into the game, and he just compounds it and makes it worse. That's what he did in Game 5 versus the Nuggets. Literally.
Yeah, the one big
become
thing
more
from
of a
that game,
passer. Pass it to Simons.
I don't know if you guys were watching at the point, but Robert Covington getting ejected, that was kind of
for throwing the face mask.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I can't say I disagree with it.
Yeah,
There's no reason.
I don't know why he would freak out that much.
Yeah, if you're Covington, that's kind of you just don't want to give the refs an opportunity to make that call.
Yeah, now I remember. Watched the first 2 quarters of the game. 4th quarter, had to turn off on the airplane. Woke up or landed, turned on my cellular with some very disappointing news.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of negativity on this podcast. Let's go to a positive. The Blazers do beat the Nuggets 6 days ago at home. Held them to 100 points. No Jokic, however. 19-point win. Well, 19-point win regardless.
They did just
You know,
win tonight. They were on like a 6-game losing streak, I think.
Jokic did play though. So,
Yeah,
tonight.
CJ
But
played
like,
great that game, right? Yeah,
yeah,
32
CJ
for
had
CJ,
32
13 for
on
19. Once again,
beautiful,
shooting
beautiful.
way more than Dame. And then
Now that
Lillard
makes me want. Now
25
that makes me want to
points.
think like, what is the stats on the season? Is CJ shooting that much more than Dame throughout the season, or is this just a stretch?
I don't know. I'd be interested though because
I feel like Dame's. I feel like
Dame's
become
taking
more of a
they're both
facilitator.
taking 18.5 shots a game and both making 7.5. So they
That's
literally have
just
identical
not good.
numbers.
That is not good.
Yeah,
Dame
they're
needs to
both
be
shooting around
That's not
40% from
good.
the field, and then CJ shooting 40% from 3, while Dame's shooting 30% from 3.
That's not good. Dame's having a horrible year so far, shooting wise,
I just don't know
which
what
is
it
a
is.
big recipe for the Blazers' success.
I just
at
I don't
this
know what it is
point, I
either.
mean, it's not like you can say, "Oh, it's just a slump." I mean, what are we 20 something games in and it's still occurring? It hurts. It really does. I don't know what's up, but same with CJ kind of, but like especially Dame, you'd expect just
Yeah.
so much more, so much more. I mean, you could compare this man to Curry last year and now it's like they're not even in the same league anymore.
I wonder if Dame. Usually, when we go to the playoffs, Dame will like completely just run out of gas in the playoffs, and I wonder if he's taking more of a measured approach. Like, I would rather get the 6 seed and have a more rested Dame than a 3 seed where Dame just emptied the tank in the regular season.
well, at this rate right now we're the 10 seed, so I know
Okay, well, I
it's
get that, but I think we're going to be a really good home team because we weren't last year. We were not good at home last year, and we're typically one of the better home teams in the league. We have great home court advantage, so I think that's kind of gonna go back, kind of have some positive regression, so to speak. So I don't know.
the
I
thing
think we're gonna
is
be a really good home team, and we have to get better on the road. We're gonna find
oh,
our way to win games. It's gonna happen.
the Western Conference right now is really split into like 3 tiers. There's the like 10
The
or 11
contenders,
through,
the bubble,
11
and
through
the lottery.
15 that look like they're out of the playoffs. There's the top 3, Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. And then there's 4 through 10, where the 4 seed has 11 wins at the Clippers. The 10 seed us has 10 wins. So,
hmm
like, a bunch of mediocrity going on right now in the West. So it's not like we're the only team, but
No, I mean
we
that
just
4 seed is up for grabs. It's up for grabs.
it's just the way we're performing. It's just like it hurts to
Just the
watch.
shooting, the consistency. Dame has even close to numbers they did last year.
Like we
We
haven't
could
even had
be
an exciting game on the road. Like the only exciting games is that like week stretch where we were like beat the Bulls, Raptors, and I forget who the last team was, but like the energy in Moto was like real. There's zero energy and excitement on the road. It's just like I say, it looks
yeah,
like we just
man.
don't want to be there. I
I
mean,
will say, this is interesting. The rest of the way, the Blazers have 61 games left. We have the second easiest schedule the rest of the way. I feel like we've played a tough schedule so far.
I mean,
Nuggets, the
we have
Nuggets
it's
twice,
true.
the Jazz,
Lots of
the
clip
freaking
games,
Clippers 3
Warriors.
times, the Warriors.
Not that the Clippers are that good, but still, you know.
There is 61 games left. So I think, it's our hardest. This is using the website Tankathon, but we still have 2 against the Warriors, 2 against the Suns, 3 against the Jazz, 2 against the Bucks, 2 against the Nets, 1 against the Bulls. Those are our hardest games. Easiest games, we get 3 more against the Rockets,
Wow.
4 against the Spurs, 4 against the Thunder. We haven't played the Thunder yet. I feel like we haven't played any lottery teams yet.
yeah, the only teams
We're gonna.
we're about to get a Pistons, so
If I had to project, the amount of wins the Blazers will get, I'll say 46.
40. So you're saying we're going, what is that, like 46 and 36?
So what is that, like 60%?
Normally
That's
that's
gonna be like
around, that's probably a middle. That's like 4 to 6 seed probably in the West.
I mean, 50 games to stretch. We'd have to turn it around on the road. But think about it. If the Blazers are 9-1 right now, you play 41 home games. I mean, I think the Blazers can go 31-10 at home,
That's fair.
and then you win 50. You win
go.
half those games on the road. I think we win 45 or 46 games.
Huh. I mean,
Optimism's definitely there, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay, optimism's like 50. Bad is like 35.
I just don't even know how to predict this team. That's just how inconsistent we are. Like, and I know
I'm-
but things were inconsistently consistent because we're so bad on the road and so good at home. I get that, and honestly,
Yeah,
Actually, no, I was
I'm
going to
just
say our harder games have been at home. But that's
banking.
not the case.
I'm just banking on that second half run. I mean, it happens all the time. Once it turns to 2022, that's when the Blazers start picking it up a little bit. I mean, Dame's going to go on a ridiculous stretch at some point.
Do you think that?
Dame? Yes, Cole. I do think that. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, he's too much of a competitor to keep shooting 30% from three, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I'm interested to see what I'm currently looking at the ESPN power rankings. Obviously, we have a little more optimism than like where would you say the Blazers are, and like where would you think they would be in the power rankings? You can look at the standings if you want to, but I mean, I think this takes.
I think they'd be like 15.
Correct. We are exactly dead middle. They say Portland opened last week with its fourth straight win, a 19-point victory over Denver, but the Blazers lost at Sacramento the next night before losing by 15 to the Warriors on Friday. They'll complete a 3-game road swing at Utah on Monday. At 10-10, Chauncey Billups and the Blazers continue to struggle to find consistency.
Here I have a good another stat that goes with strength of schedule. So I said the Blazers have the second easiest schedule the rest of the way. Well, currently so far we have played the 7th toughest schedule so far. Just for comparison, the Lakers have the same record as us. They played the second easiest schedule. The Suns have played the easiest schedule. Golden State has played the 3rd easiest. Utah the 5th easiest. I mean, look, Minnesota, who's above us right now, they've played the 7th easiest. I mean, look, every team is going to end up playing this. It really just depends on, are you going to play the Jazz 4 times or do you play the Pistons 4 times? It's like that. But that I can just tell those Western Conference standings. It's going to be so tight in that middle of the pack.
All right, I've got another statistic for you, and this is on performance. It takes into account tonight's game too. It's talking about Dame and CJ. With both of them on the floor, Dame and CJ, we are minus 1.4 per 100 possessions, so around middle of the pack average. When it's Dame and no CJ, we are plus 13 per 100 possessions. So when CJ's not on the floor and it's just Dame, we are an elite team. And it's when CJ's on the floor and no Dame, again, we are back into the negatives.
I would like to see, like, let's come back at, like, the new year and see what that – I mean, it could be a small sample size. Like, I don't know. You never know with that. But.
I feel like Dame and CJ are, in a way, kind of different players this year. I feel like CJ still has that ISO – kind of mentality, and Dame's obviously way more of a passer. So I'm not saying Dame's like a two-way. Well, two-way means defense, so never mind. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
Dame has definitely taken on the more of a role of trying to pass the ball and distribute while still trying to get his points. But
yeah, I feel like that could be the reason why Dame and CJ not being out on the floor at the same time I could see that benefiting our team.
Do you? We talked about this last year, and then again, this is like an extreme change. But do you still think the idea of moving CJ to the bench would be a good thing now, or is that kind of just like a lost cause now that Anthony Simons is pretty elite bench? Honestly, it's like, would it even do anything?
In my opinion, I think you would. Ideally, like Powell starts at the 2, and you have like a Nasir Little but better who starts at the 3 with Nasir Little on the bench. And CJ's can net you that guy, but I understand.
What if we trade?
We're committed, and that's the trade for CJ will always be the $1 million.
Now that
question.
Simons is like having a breakout year,
do you trade Simons then? I mean, you can't keep 4 of them. You literally
you
can't.
don't trade Simons. You would, if you were to do anything, you would trade CJ because if you're trading
Simons would you trade Anthony Simons for OG Anunoby?
Yes, since OG is still kind of young, too.
But I just think like Simons, if he keeps playing like this, he'll have a higher return. And then you could move CJ to the bench, and he could be the.
You can't be paying a guy $30 million to come off the bench.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
I know I posed the question, but like.
No, I agree with you. Like that'd be very radical, but. For fit, it makes sense, but for the optics, obviously, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean.
But then again, CJ can get hot, and when he gets hot, we can see what he can do. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think that a big run is coming at some point. You wonder when. I wonder when our next like big homestand is. That's just.
I mean, we got 4 right now, so.
Yeah,
we
I mean,
have okay, here we go. Let me just we got a 4-game homestand here, the Warriors on the road, and another 4-game homestand. So 8 of our next 9 games are at
I'm
home.
looking at now that I'm looking at this next run with the 4 home games. We obviously have Warriors on the road, but then we got Timberwolves at home,
on
Suns
on
at home,
ESPN.
Grizzlies at home, Hornets at home, Grizzlies on the road, Pelicans on the road. Even though those are
Oof.
road games, Pelicans are dog water this year.
And then we're back home for
And the
Christmas.
Grizzlies
So we
don't have
win around
Ja.
Christmas.
The Grizzlies don't have Ja, so the Grizzlies in reality shouldn't be that good of a team right now, and they're still not gonna have Ja that then. So like,
And then we're
look at the
back home
schedule.
for
This should be a run where we should go 8-2 or 7-3. Like we should.
I agree with you.
Pistons has to be a win tomorrow. San Antonio has to be a win.
Yeah,
Boston
San Antonio sucks.
honestly has to be a win too. Clippers, okay. If we throw one of those games, I'll be fine with that. 3-1.
A 3-1
Pistons.
of our 4-game homestand.
But no worse than that. I'm not going 2-2. Sorry. Not
I
gonna
want.
accept
We
that.
better go at least until that Nets game, which we could be attending. We could be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 games.
I want to go 8-3. I
The
know,
Warriors
but
is an L.
like, that's a
Warriors is
reach,
an L.
but it's a lot of home games. Not the best teams we're playing.
I
I'd
mean,
say
you're playing the
seven.
Warriors out.
I'd say
Warriors on the
seven.
road.
Warriors is a loss. Suns,
Suns
I would
at
assume,
home
is
is
probably
a
a loss,
tough
even though
game.
we've already beat them at home this year. They're
That's
probably
on
a loss.
TNT. Wow.
And then I would say something
I mean,
between the Clippers, Celtics, and Hornets is a loss.
The
I'm going to
Timberwolves
say
are
7
good
and
too.
4.
I know the Timberwolves are good, but I'm
I
taking into account the home.
I wouldn't. I think we have a winning record. If we don't have a winning record, you can.
Oh,
punt
if we
on
don't
the
have a
season.
winning record, then like
Then
That's
I'm not
bad.
watching anymore.
if we're
But
if we're trying to be a middle pack playoff team where we're a 4 or 5 seed, you gotta take advantage of this.
So we're 10 and 11. You want to go 8 and 3. So 20 and 14 or 21 and 14 by Christmas.
If we are 19 and 15, I will be happy. So 7-4.
I said 500 by Christmas, and now I feel like that's a little too easy on them.
just
Gotta be
barely on the
better than that.
schedule, but yeah. 7 and 4 until the Nets game. I'll be fine with that.
I'm not in as much of a panic mode as I was 2 years ago, bubble year, where we started off obviously terribly and
Mhm.
continued terrible the whole year. But just I'm a little nervous right now because the defense is not improving. Now that makes me want to go check defensive stats because
I think it might has to be improving a little bit. Compared to
It's-
last
okay,
year, we were the
obviously, last
worst.
year-
But the offense has regressed.
I remember last year
the thing is,
saying
the offense hasn't regressed. We are okay. Hold up.
because I remember
Yeah,
last
I
year
heard-
I
saying
heard a statistic today. I think it was offensive rating. We are second
Yeah, I
in the league
mean-
in offensive rating.
Really.
We're
really
7th in the league in points per game. Where do I see offensive rating?
because I remember last
Interesting.
year saying if we're like a middle of the pack defense team and we keep our offense, then we're gonna be a great team.
There's a bunch of people tied, but we are tied for 18th. Call it 20th because there's a bunch of teams tied
for
for
defense.
20th in team defense. I don't know if that's the same as defensive.
So
rating.
you'd hope that'd be a little better after being last, but again,
Okay.
it's not.
4th
too
in the
bad.
NBA in offensive rating.
Okay,
Little down.
29th in the NBA in defensive rating.
29th.
this
29.
year, this year
This year.
we are the worst
All right,
defensive
so
team in
that's no,
Second
we're
worst.
second, but that's last year. We were
Last
second
year we were
offensively.
29th, but the 30th team was
Second.
the worst defensive team in NBA history.
Who was
Kings.
that?
Kings. They were literally the worst defensive team in NBA history.
So we're
Sorry, but
we haven't
a
we haven't
three-guard lineup.
Okay.
You're not.
Can you
You're not
keep
playing
these- keep
defense
these
with
numbers-
three
keep
guys
these
under
numbers for me.
6'4".
Keep these numbers for me. 112.6 on defense and then 111.7 on offense. I'm going to compare that to last year.
Got it.
Offensive rating last year. Okay, offense has regressed. Even though it's
Yeah.
still a top 5 in the league, we were 117.1 last year. We were realistically a historic offense last year. Defensively,
Last
we
year.
were 115.3.
Okay,
So
so the
both
defense
have-
has
so-
gotten better.
Defense is compared to like
Okay, so
I feel like
what
all
I
defenses
gather
have
from
gotten
that,
better with the rule
yeah,
changes.
no, yeah, yeah. So if defense is getting better, offense is getting worse. However, I really honestly think, we've lost 2 or 3 games because Dame's not getting cheap free throws. I'm not even kidding. And
Yeah, I
shooting,
mean-
obviously. But like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Dame's shooting these threes when he's shooting 40% from 3 instead of 30. That is 3 points as opposed to a Nurk 2-pointer. And with a 3-point revolution in the NBA, that matters.
Mhm.
It matters. It's literally
you'd
I don't
expect the
know.
changes to be maybe hurt our offense a little bit,
But that's not a great
it
look for
hurts it
Chauncey.
too much.
Not a great look for Chauncey that you can't improve the defense.
And within the offense, you could also just say the shots aren't falling for Damian.
Now
Singleton.
again, let's go back to all these stats at Christmas. You know, we're about to play 8 and 9 at home. We've had the
True.
7th hardest schedule. We have an
That's
easy
true.
schedule coming up.
For sure.
You're going to be able to clamp the Pistons. You would hope. So
San Antonio, yeah.
I'm watching games, and I feel like the offense isn't terrible. I feel like we're getting pretty good looks. Like, the offense, you would think, is just we're just missing shots. But, like, for
You were
some
dying
players,
there.
and sometimes we're taking bad
But-
shots.
I think quality of shot, yeah, it matters. Like Joe Ingles wide open 3, Zach LaVine wide open 3. You know, it's a make or miss league. Joe Ingles makes it, Zach LaVine misses it. We get a win because of it. You know,
All right.
but you would rather have Zach LaVine take that. Than,
Fair.
sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to shift gears here. Completely shift gears. in
Timbers.
sports.
I'll talk Timbers.
We're going to talk a little Portland Timbers. If you are a soccer fan, definitely stay with us here. It's probably going to wrap up the Blazers content. But let's
Last
get
thing
a
I'll
little
say,
positive.
7-4. And
Let's get positive. Do I have a Timbers thing in here? No, got to hit Timbers. But Timbers win on the road at Colorado. The crazy stuff goes down in that game.
Whew.
So much action.
I'm going to be
We get now
honest.
play RSL at home because they're somehow turning into a
Dude,
team that can beat everybody.
Wow.
But
RSL.
wow.
I was talking to your guys' dad. We watched the game like 5 hours after it happened. We had it on recording, and his tone seemed a little down. Wasn't feeling good going into that game, especially after
That's funny.
Colorado
Dude.
destroying and then being completely shocked in the 90th minute. Mabiala. Wow, what a goal.
Yeah, it was when they scored, like we went crazy, and then I was like, I almost, as soon as the game was over, like put the win on my story, and I was like, oh wait, I can't because people in Portland haven't seen it, so kind of clutched up there. But yeah, the Timbers get a. Who would have thought the Timbers get to host the Western Conference Finals and possibly MLS Cup?
Possibly MLS Cup.
That's insane.
I think it's like, okay, the Timbers have to win this next game, obviously, to get to
But
MLS
the
Cup.
Revolution still have to lose.
But there's
They
three.
played
There's three
tomorrow night
teams. They have
tonight.
to win 2 in a
Oh,
row.
they haven't even gotten to the conference finals.
Yeah,
yet.
they have to win 2 in a row. So if we win, the chance of our game being in the MLS Cup being
Philadelphia-
Providence Park is probably like
The
70%
Revolution
chance.
did have the most points of all time in MLS history.
It's true, but look,
The
RSL
playoffs
had
is
no
different. It's one
business-
game.
RSL
It's soccer.
had no
It's soccer.
business beating
It's soccer. One goal
Oh
in
my-
the back of the net off a deflection.
RSL had
deflection.
no business
Park the
beating the
bus.
Sounders.
You're
RSL
gonna
had
go
no business
RSL.
beating the Sounders.
That's
Yeah.
soccer in a
Dude,
nutshell for
okay,
you.
I will say,
0 shots on
dude,
target.
RSL, I'm scared about RSL. I'm scared.
David Ochoa
They
won't stop
just-
talking
dude.
his ass off.
Dude, they just have this feeling of like team of destiny right now. They just,
Oh,
I'm
their
sorry,
time's
but
out.
that, I hope so. But
we are going to be shorthanded.
you know,
We're going to have no Espria.
no Espria, no Blanco.
Blanco, most likely.
and
That's true.
Valeri is just this old dude now. And
Hey,
just
Valeri's
sits on
going to
the
come.
bench.
Valeri's going to make a play. Valeri's going to make a play. I'm telling you. If he can.
I mean, our best player is Felipe Moore. That's Timmy Charles.
Are we going to have to block? Are we going to have to park the bus? It might be park the
No.
bus versus park the bus.
No. We're going to score in
Well,
transition.
Yeah, I
it is
know,
going to
but,
be
like,
interesting.
We'll counter.
Because
We'll do what we did against Colorado.
But that's the thing. We're best on the counter, but RSL's not going to just come out and attack.
Yeah,
RSL's going to
be
stick
interesting.
to their game plan. Dude, I mean, RSL just has, the Sounders game was just luck. I mean, that's just, they played for penalties the entire game. And they completed it. And then, they took it to Sporting KC, which was a little so shocking. And then did y'all see the Philly game? Nashville missed all their penalties.
Nashville.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
that keeper.
They missed all 4 penalties.
Keeper decided to
Andre Blake.
off.
Andre Blake had 2
I mean,
saves, and then
pop
they
up
put 2
2
over the bar.
saves, but then they missed 2, like the whole frame. So that would
Yeah.
be a tough way to go out as a Nashville fan. But
I could see Philly. I could see Philly going. I could see a Philadelphia Portland final.
I just want to
but
win. I mean, I want to be at home, but then again, I just want to win.
If
Next
it's at
game.
home, that would go nuts.
Game's on Saturday,
would-
correct?
I would for sure go to the MLS
I'm
Cup.
not sure.
Because
I might have
obviously
to make an appearance.
I'm not in Portland right now, but for this game on Saturday versus RSL. But if we make it to the MLS Cup, you'll bet I'll be there screaming.
Do we do a live stream to the Timbers game?
Speaking of live streams,
Yeah,
If you
let's
guys
talk
are
live
listening,
streams. As
we
we have
haven't- we
very
live
few
streamed the
minutes
Warriors
left on the
game.
podcast.
921 viewers. Not saying they stayed long, but there were 921 total. Looking at the schedule, I don't know when our next live stream will be actually. Let me check this here.
Probably, if I
Maybe
had to
Saturday
guess,
versus the Celtics.
I will
possibly.
say, West could make an appearance back at the old stomping grounds for the Warriors game. We could do a part 2 with the Warriors. I think
West
I come
make an
home on
appearance
that
at
day.
Stomping Grounds.
Yeah, I'm not going to say where the stomping grounds are.
When are you back?
I think the 8th.
Okay. Well, we might do Warriors part 2. Get those guys back in there. Who was the dude's name? What was that Warriors fans bandwagon's name?
I don't know. He was whatever. But I will say, shout out to Talking Dima for getting all the trivia questions.
Facts.
Talking to
Talking
quit.
Demon's really good.
But the Timbers, yes, the Timbers are
Projections for
Going to
Saturday,
West
the score. Straight up just projection
Dose.
on the score.
Acero.
Arrow.
2-0.
2-0.
It's going to be no goals first half. We're going to score, say,
65.
somewhere between 70 to 80.
Oh, wow.
Then they're going to come out of their shell. They're
For
going
score
to
stoppage
be
time.
discombobulated. Boom. Counter at the 88th. Valeri.
I like it.
Valeri seals it
Dude.
again.
Yeah. Goal scorers, boys. I'll go with
First goal will be from
I'll go Yemi Chara.
Steve Clark on a pen. I'm kidding.
I like Yemi Chara to score. He's the only guy who's like a shoe-in starter that can score. Mora, Niasgoda.
I'll go Niasgoda. I'm just
Nice.
saying.
I don't know,
the
man.
striker.
Soccer's just so unpredictable. RSL could easily
True.
win this game.
I'm telling you, RSL's got that destiny attached to them, but it's up to the Timbers Army to blow that down.
But please, home game, MLS Cup. That would just do
Yeah,
it.
well, that's kind of good to wrap up the Timbers segment there. As we wind down the podcast here.
4 minutes.
Is there a realistic path for the Ducks?
There could be a path for the Ducks to the playoff.
Really?
Michigan goes down. Big Ten champion is a 2-loss team. Oklahoma State goes down. Big 12 champion is a 2-loss team. That means Georgia's in because Georgia's going to clap Alabama. Cincinnati's in. We're going to still and say that.
No, we can't
Notre
have
Dame's in.
Cincinnati in.
We're going to say Notre Dame's in. Oregon slides in at number 4. There's options.
Just get blown.
I think
in
they
the
Or
take
face.
Cincinnati
that.
loses too.
True.
We absolutely rail Utah 55-10. You can't leave a hot Ducks out like that.
I don't know, man.
Country.
The
Dude, we just lost
did-
38-7.
The Ducks did struggle to Cal on the final play at Autzen a couple of weeks ago, but all right.
Well,
We're
anything
good.
else you guys want to add?
That's all we got.
Any more Oregon sports?
Yep,
He-
hopefully
he's-
Blazers can just go
Oh,
7-4.
Cole.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Cole, bring down the cleat because that was the worst performance I've ever seen by a quarterback.
I'm not going to bring it down, but Cam Newton, the worst performance by a quarterback since 2004.
Cam, tough. Since 2004.
Since 2004. Worst QBR of
QB rating?
quarterback with at least 20 passing attempts.
What was the QB rating?
5.9.
50.9.
5.9.
Wait, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Like you can count on your fingers.
Oh my god. Cam. And did
That's
you start
funny.
him in fantasy?
No, I
Yeah.
started Stafford.
Oh, good job.
I still lost by like 20.
Did he
By
get
30.
did he get negative 2 picks? Yeah,
No, he got
No, he had
He-
he had a rushing touchdown, so he had like 5.
Okay.
Dude, such a bad beat for Cash. Wow.
We're not even
Tough.
into that.
All right, we ready to?
That is going to be
Wrap
it
up.
for episode. This might be episode 30. I think it was.
Wow, 30.
That's a milestone. That means that Damian
That's how many
Lillard
wins the
will
Blazers are
offer
going to have
30
this year.
points in a week. But thanks for
Nice.
listening,
Nice.
guys. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to download it. Go over to the YouTube, give it a like, comment, and subscribe.
course,
and
of course.
in the next podcast after our stretch of home games, hopefully winning at least 3. Peace.